got me a line laid out. I went ahead and done a little digging around my edges here to get that ready. I've been dreading putting it off doing it, so I got that breaker bar out and shovel and got it beat out around the edges, so we should be in good shape there. So what we'll do is we're going to take a 6-inch pipe and we're going to run and we'll reduce it down to a 4-inch and then put sort of a long sweep 90 in it here and stub it up. That way I can tee it and run it out the wall either way and then catch anything coming and going. And then we'll take it back down, and then I've got to get a 2-foot mark right here, so we will stub up right here and be able to catch the table saw. Then we're going to take it straight under the wall, and then we'll put a long sweep 90 on it and stub it up right here. And then in time I'll get a dust system out there and we'll get her plugged up, but the dust system will be outside the garage, so we won't have to listen to it. So while I'm wiring, I'm going to go ahead and plumb in a piece of conduit, and we'll run it over here and stub it out in that wall. And then also I'm going to plumb in a conduit for an air compressor, which we'll set out here as well. And that way we'll have the racket makers sitting outside. So on to some of this peaceful digging. I'll tell you, I don't like digging in here. Luckily so far, knock on wood, I've not knocked a hole in the building, but I'll be glad to get this one in. This should be the last trench I've got to dig in here, so let's get in here and start scratching, see if we can get it in the ground. I don't know about you all, but I'm about tired of these darn rock. But I think I've got it where I can live with it. I got one right there I'm hitting that's sort of causing some issue, but I think I can start in that corner and work my way right through here. And then I got to beat through those rock there to get it on the other side of the wall. So anyway, I'm going to slick the bottom of this up with a shovel, run some pipe in there, and try to wrap this up. Well, the rock crusher here, she decided to stay behind and help me, so Slate rock's no match for her. Alright, sis, let me hit this. What's your eyeball?
Look, I got it here.
Yeah.
Almost.
Alright, let me hit this. What's your eye?
This is where I'm wearing safety glasses.
I need them on, thank you.
Here.
Yeah. You're bad. Close your eyes.
Which is good. Where's Bart?
What's your eyes? Yeah. I ain't moving. We're gonna run across the top of her, Taylor.
Wait, can I have some safety glasses?
Yeah. I beat on rocks up here, but I'm about sick of it. I'm tired of beating on them.
This is heavy.
That'll end up. You'll end up with something in my ass.
Oh, hey, it's too heavy. Oh.
Hey, tell you something, that drill's into your finger. You're stuck like a hog.
What do you mean stuff like a hog?
Here. Lay it up on this. All right, just to give you an idea of what we're doing. 6-inch line going through. I've got it reduced down to a 4-inch here and got it stubbed up. So what I'll be able to do here is actually Y, or T, not Y, but I'll tee off, and then I can go down the wall and catch something if I need to. And then I can tee and come down the wall and catch something here if I need to. So I can keep it down pretty low against the wall without getting in the way. And then table saw sit right here. You can see the door behind the excavator. I'm gonna have 2 rooms here, a 10 by 10 room and a 10 by 10 room with a 4-foot hallway. So what I've done is I centered my blade on my table saw up with that hallway. So if I'm ripping 16-foot stuff, I can rip it right down the hall. So the saw will set about right here, and I'll have about 2 feet from the saw over to where I tie into this dust system. So it'll come right out of the saw, loop right back down in. So all I like is I'm gonna go ahead and get this covered up so I can get the excavator out. I've got to go over and dig a little hole on the other side of the wall so I can try to punch through this rock and get over there and stub it up. But what I'll do is I'll get over there and then I'll sort of take 2 45s and build me a long sweep 90, and then I'm just gonna stub it straight up, and then we'll figure out how I'm gonna hook it into a dust system at that time. But I will put one more Y. I'll put it right here as it comes through the wall, so I'll stub it up so I can tee here and do the same thing. I can go that way or I can come this way. So anyway, it's we've run out of daylight, but I will tell you, I'll show you outside. She's pitch black dark, but the one hyper light, she lights her up pretty good. So time I get 4 in here, I think we'll have plenty of light. All right, I run back up here this afternoon trying to finish my dust system. So I've got to get to the other side of the wall, and as normal up here, I've hit solid rock, or this slate, so I'm gonna try something a little different here. I flipped the bucket around on the excavator, so I'm gonna see if I can get in there and scratch around a little bit and get that stuff broke up to where I can get through the under the wall a little bit easier. So wish me luck. We'll see how this works. That actually worked pretty good. Now I'm going to tell you that's a lot of work to get that little air bubble in the center of that thing. I think we're in good enough shape. Let's plumb this baby in. And I think I'm about done with rock for a little while anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got her in. What I'm doing, and I've said this before, but I'll be able to tee in here and go down the wall. I've reduced from a 6 to a 4, so it'll come down. Obviously, I've just got this in here so we don't run over the end of it so you can see it, but this will catch my table saw, which the table saw will sit right here. And then I'll be able to tie in here. But what I'll probably do is once I come up out of the floor, I'll probably tee here. And if I've got a workbench or something over here and I need to run a vacuum hose on a sander or whatever it may be, I could catch one here if I wanted to. Don't know if I'll do that or not, but just in case, I've got that option. And then over here, I've stubbed up a couple inches out. Went ahead and put a 2x4 and pulled me a string and stayed off it 2 inches. That way my wall metal can go in behind it, and that'll leave me about an inch gap, but I can tee there as well. I've got it taken over on the other side. I don't think I'm going to glue this one in just yet. I'm just going to probably put a bucket over that and go ahead and backfill this. And then once I put a dust system in, at whatever time I can run my pipe. I will go ahead and stub out 220 over here for a dust collector, and then probably I'll run conduit over here to catch an air compressor as well. I just want to keep that stuff outside the shop at where you ain't got to listen to that racket all the time. So anyway, that's a underground dust line. So hopefully I don't have to walk over a bunch of hoses. But I'm gonna get some of this stone and backfill it and make sure I got it packed in under the bottom good, and we'll get it covered up. And then the last thing I've got to do is I've got to tie into the water line out here, and I'm going to stub it up, and I'm going to run it in conduit as well, but I'm going to stub it up in this wall cavity right here. And so we'll have water in here, and then we can run it wherever we need to, but that way I'll only have a short piece of water line underneath the concrete, in which it'll be in conduit, so if I ever need to pull it out, I can. So let's cover a ditch up, try to dig a quick hole over here, stub some water line in there, and we about ready to close this baby in and pour some concrete. All right, I got some stone thrown in the ditch and worked it down in around my pipe. So I've got a few low spots in here, so I'll let this settle for a few days. It'll be probably a couple weeks before I pour my concrete. So I've got to come back and shoot grade on this thing and make sure everything's in good shape. So I'll have to fill in a few low spots. But once I get that done, I'll probably take a plate compactor and run over all these ditches. That way I'll make sure everything's nice and tight. But that stuff works really well. It packs down pretty tight. You can walk it in and drive a tractor over it about it. So I'll let it lay here though, settle, and we'll make sure we got a good compaction on it. But if you watched, I appreciate it. And hey, we'll catch you in another few days, maybe with another one. See you later.